Imagine a scrappy bakery that used to sell 5 loaves a day, then learned to bake with rocket fuel. Suddenly every airport wants its sourdough. That's AMD in the last few years. Product market fit, scale, and now an appetite for serving entire cloud cafeterias. Shares of AMD are up about plus 40% year to date, while the ZAX computer integrated systems industry has gained roughly plus 53.9% in the same period. A reminder that AMD's rally is strong, but the whole industry's been partying harder. AMD's stock has been trading in the mid-$160, for example, a close at $164.01 on an October session. AMD grew from a comparatively tiny market value back when Lisa Su joined to a modern titan under her leadership, yet it remains a fraction of the gargantuan company Nvidia, which in October 2025 sits around the $4.5 trillion mark. That gap helps explain why AMD's victories feel both huge and humble at the same time. What's actually driving the optimism? EPYC AI and agentic workloads. Cut the marketing talk. Businesses buy EPYC processors because those chips make clouds faster, cheaper, and denser. The server world values performance per watt and performance per dollar, and EPYC has been delivering both. That means cloud providers and enterprises building large clusters, data centers, private clouds, HPC, are increasingly putting EPYC into their playbooks. ZAX analyst notes explicitly call out strong demand for EPYC processors as a primary driver of AMD's growth this year. Add AI into the stew, but not just the flashy giant model training headlines. Emerging AI use cases and the rapid adoption of agentic AI, think autonomous agents that coordinate multiple tasks, are creating demand for general-purpose compute. In plain English, these new workloads often need lots of CPU cycles in combination with accelerators, and EPYC sits right in the middle of that bill of materials. More AI doesn't only mean more GPUs, it also means more servers to orchestrate, manage, and feed data into those GPUs. That's direct tailwind for AMD's EPYC. Picture a kitchen where the chef, an AI model, needs a sous chef, storage, and a conveyor belt that keeps salads moving. GPUs are the chef's knives. EPYC is the sous chef and conveyor belt combined. No knives without the belt delivering ingredients efficiently. Price targets, the market, and what the numbers mean. Consensus target numbers give you a feel for the crowd's mood. TipRanks and other aggregator services report an average target around $187.73 with outliers from $140 to $230. That range is important. The low end suggests cautious analysts worried about execution or cyclicality. The high end reflects bulls who see a larger AI and server share for AMD. Why does that matter? If you buy at $164 and the stock hits the average target $187, you're looking at mid-teens upside, plus dividends if any. But a lot of that implied return already assumes AMD continues to scale EPYC in clouds, improves data center GPU traction, and navigates supply chains without big hiccups. If those assumptions slip, the market will reprice quickly, which explains why some analysts keep a cautious low target in the $140 plus. Targets are like weather forecasts, useful for planning your picnic, but you don't build a house based on a 3-day forecast. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, like the video, it means much to me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. Growth in perspective. Hundreds of times. Is that real? The more than 100 times growth line is shorthand for the massive value transformation under CEO Lisa Su. When she arrived, AMD's position was far humbler. Over the decade plus that followed, the company engineered Ryzen for consumer desktops and laptops, EPYC for servers, and a ramp of AI-oriented products that moved AMD from contender to serious competitor. That scale-up is why market values are in the hundreds of billions now, and the phrase, hundreds of times, gets used. It's shorthand for the sheer order of magnitude change since the early 2010. The market is huge, and Lisa Su herself, in an August interview with Wired, said she doesn't necessarily want AMD to be defined purely as a competitor to Intel or Nvidia. The opportunity is bigger than a one-on-one rivalry. That humility helps explain AMD's multi-pronged product strategy. Competitive reality check. Nvidia looms large. Nvidia is enormous in market value, north of $4.5 trillion as of early October 2025, and dominant in AI accelerators and software ecosystem, CUDA. That's a hard reality. Nvidia's software ecosystem and incumbent position create switching costs and momentum that aren't easy to beat overnight. But AMD doesn't have to beat Nvidia at everything. It needs to be essential in enough slices of the market, servers, heterogeneous systems, integrated solutions, to grow reliably. If the data center market is a multi-course meal, Nvidia is the chef famous for the signature dish, accelerators, while AMD is the restaurant that wants to master appetizers, mains, and sides, EPYC plus MI series plus integrated solutions. Both can thrive if diners value variety. Why the ZAX industry outperformance matters. The ZAX Computer Integrated Systems Industries plus 53.9% gain tells you two things. 1. The whole sector has been catching a tailwind, AI mania, cloud capex, and optimism about tech spending recovery. And 2. AMD's plus 40% YTD gain is good but not the sector's top performance. There are other winners and the sector's momentum is broad. For investors that matters because sometimes the safest play is not just picking the coolest logo, but matching your exposure to how the broader industry behaves. Practical point: if you own AMD, consider whether you also want exposure to other industry winners. Diversification protects you if company-specific risks emerge. 2 concrete paths forward. Let's imagine 2 plausible futures, movie style. Path A: System Builder. AMD keeps winning EPYC footprints, MI series adoption climbs, and the company nails integration, software plus hardware plus racks. Revenue and margins rise, the market rewards execution, and AMD graduates into a more defensible multi-product platform business. Path B: Narrow corridor. Nvidia widens its lead in accelerators, hyperscalers spend more on in-house silicon, or supply chain constraints throttle volumes. AMD still grows, Ryzen plus EPYC keep delivering, but the pace stalls and the market demands more to justify current valuations. Which path plays out matters for returns, and that's the real question behind every analyst price target and investor tweet. Note this as well. When his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, "Who then can be saved?" But Jesus beheld them, and said unto them, "With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all, and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, in the regeneration when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Matthew 19:25-30. If we fully obey the Lord, the Creator of heaven and earth, and carefully follow all His commandments, He has promised to set us high above all the nations of the earth. Deuteronomy 28. We shall be blessed when we come in and when we go out. I appeal to you to accept God and let Him be your guide, for He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Want more information? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage me to continue bringing to you insightful content. Do not miss out on our future videos full of insight. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's blessings and care. Faith and prayer will do what no power on earth can accomplish. See you in the next video by God's mercy.